full steam ahead charging into 2022, but we can't go into the new year without giving proper recognition to this year that we've just came across.
Yeah, all the great Stoics, all the great philosophers of our time say that reflection is key. We got to reflect back on the year that was, and we got to give out some awards.
Definitely. So just to kind of explain to you all out there listening how we came about with these awards and the selections for some of the nominees out there. Now, obviously, Josh and I, we deliberated back and forth pretty heavily on some of these.
Pretty hard on some of these.
Yeah, there was a couple of them where you'll see as we go, we just had to leave it where it was.
You've said some words that, honestly, I can't ever let you take back.
It be like that sometimes. But, when we're talking about you, though, our listeners and our fan base, there was a couple of these where, as far as the selection went, it wasn't exactly who Josh and I and it might not have been that. It was just more so the response that you had responding to us on social media when we put out some of these categories was just so overwhelming for this particular nominee that there was no other way that we could go about it. So there is also going to be a couple of award categories throughout the program that are fan-only criteria or fan-only awards, and it's simply to remove any implicit bias that may have been because they're team-related things. So we wanted to make sure that we took ourselves out of that discussion and we let you, the people, decide those on our social medias.
Yeah.
So getting right into it, right to start, very first award of the year, I think it's one that, it's a big deal. It's a very it's a noteworthy person in the community. The first award that we're giving out this year is for the Media Personality of the Year. There's obviously a lot of very qualified people out there that could be in this role, but I think this person, Josh Fremd, had a year in 2021 that surpassed all others and is going to be a person that we're going to see have even bigger roles or an even bigger piece of the pie as the sport continues forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this person is what some would call a game changer. This person is opening doors for other individuals in the same field. So I think that this award is definitely given out with proper etiquette.
This award for Media Personality of the Year in 2021 goes to Laura Sanko. Then following that from Media Person of the Year, going along to Media Podcast of the Year, this is one where it kind of crept up on me. This was one where the fans, you guys had an overwhelming response to, and you guys said that the MMA Podcast of the Year in 2021
is Anik and Florian.
Yep. So the John Anik and Kenny Florian show. The thing is those are two of the brightest minds and most well prepared guys in the game as far as their technical knowledge. I can't fault people.
I can't fault that at all. No, I think that's a great choice.
Very, very great choice. The best social media follow of 2021, and
Jordan, there's a lot of ways we could have went with this. We could have went with humor. We could have went with wittiness. There's a lot of different things we could have went with this.
We could have went with knowledge base.
Knowledge base of the sport.
Meme-worthiness, if you will, if that's a word in 2021.
If that's a word. But as barbarians that we are, the best social media follow in today's sport is
Valerie Loretta.
Listen, we don't need to go into details. That is the best social media
Took me
follow.
a second to find it, but we're going to have applause the rest of the way.
Let's go.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then, that's got me feeling good talking about Valerie Loretta. So we might as well talk about the feel-good story of 2021. Now, this is one that you can pick and choose. There was two honorable mentions out there. The honorable mentions to me were Charles Oliveira being able to, he's the longtime guy in the UFC that's been there since he was 20 years old, has came up from the favelas and accomplished that UFC championship dream. You also had an honorable mention for one Francis Ngannou, obviously the human interest story of his going through the trafficking rings to get out of Cameroon to get to Paris, then being homeless, then working his way through to the States to become the star that he is and the heavyweight champion of the world. that's a phenomenal story right there.
Phenomenal story, yeah.
But to me, there's one that stands out above all, Josh, and I think that you agreed once we got to start talking about the reasons.
Yeah, once we started to get to talk about this, it kind of had something that both of those stories, those feel-good stories, don't have. And neither of those guys were cut before.
Exactly.
Neither of those guys failed yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, neither of those guys failed at what they were doing and then worked to come back. So I think that once you opened my mind to this, and, I forgot about it at a point, but once you said it, I was like, yeah. So the feel-good story of the year, Jordan.
The feel-good story of the year is Brandon Moreno. He won that UFC title after being cut. He was the very last seed on The Ultimate Fighter back in the day when he was a participant on the show. So, the speech that he had, the viral video that's gone out there, the maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, I will be champion. Like that. Just still watching that all the time, that's something that just sends chills down my spine as far as like one of those motivational videos or those post-fight moments where someone took advantage of that golden opportunity with a microphone in their hand.
Yeah, and it might not be today and it might not be tomorrow, but in a couple years, that's going to be some iconic stuff.
Oh, certainly. And if we're looking at the Colorado event of the year, there was some great events all across the year. We had the Colorado Combat Club 6, which was the first show back in Colorado since the COVID shutdowns. We had LFA 116 up in Vail that you were the main event of. Phenomenal show there. But this was one that there was a resounding response from all the people out there, and the people chose.
The Colorado event of the year is Fury 53. Dana White looking for a fight.
Pretty
hands down. I know you said that the fans voted on that one a lot, and honestly, even though I fought for the LFA one here, I was at that Fury fight. I was there. The energy was amazing. The fights were awesome. Like I think that's a great choice.
Phenomenal selection, and that's obviously going to be a show that will be broadcasted whenever that episode from this latest season of Looking for a Fight comes out. If we are taking a turn to some of the people behind the scenes from our fighters out there in the world of MMA out here in Colorado, for Colorado Strength and Conditioning Gym of the Year in 2021, Josh Fremd, who do we have?
For the Strength and Conditioning Gym of the Year is Landau's Performance. That is, I can attest to it. Since I've moved out here to Colorado, that's all I've worked with is Landau's, and I can definitely tell a difference. So
Landau Performance is a world-class facility. On any given moment, you'll see top-tier athletes walking in and out of that facility. So shout out to Lauren himself as well as the incredible staff that he's put together over there at LP. And then, obviously, following from the gym, we're going to take a look at who is the Strength and Conditioning Coach of the Year in 2021, Josh Fremd.
Now, you said this was also an overwhelming response on the social media, and these guys
was chosen by the fighters. This was
by
all
the fighters, by the fighters and the coaches, and these guys do a bang-up job. We have Aaron Porter and Nate Smock, duo award winners.
So congratulations to you, Aaron Porter and Nate Smock. Like we say, you can thank your athletes for that response because they made it to where you were undeniable to win this award.
Yeah.
Stick around after the break, folks. Let us know what you think of our awards so far. Who do you think should maybe be getting some of those big-time awards like Fight of the Year, Male Fighter of the Year, Female Fighter of the Year? We're also going to be talking some Colorado-specific awards. Let us know on the Go Fast Energy Drink hotline and text line at 303-831-1340. Stick around after the break. We're going to be giving out some more hardware. This is the MMA Plug presented to you by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio. I'm Jordan Kurtz, sitting alongside Josh Fremd.
Get closer to God. Smoking this out while I drive. I threw my hands in the sky, bound to get closer to God.